like 10 minutes late. So better late than never, right?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Let us know if anyone can hear us. I always just imagine no one watching.
Nah, there's a couple of people in there who just got to wait for a response. You know how they like takes a little while for them to wake up. I've just got a thing saying the true crime whisperers live.
Oh right, okay, maybe.
So literally, my notifications just come up, so it might take a little minute because people are probably waiting.
Yeah, and I messed up the other live, so they might. I don't know what I press. I
Go
always.
on, guys. Anybody wanna? Hey, how you
Hey,
doing? A little sound check. Can you hear us all right? Hey, Stacey.
Hi, guys.
It's all delicate then. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. I don't know why I said it like that.
There's nothing wrong with it. I was just saying, it was just really like.
I didn't even realise.
A little flower tonight. Hey, La. Is that La?
Oh, brilliant. So, joking aside, hi everyone. Thanks for watching. Joking aside, like this is actually a really sad topic, and I can relate to it quite a lot. It's about a poor girl called Annalize Sanderson. She was the youngest person to ever unalive herself in prison after begging for help. And her mum also begging for help. I don't know if you want to read it, if the news thing, Fran, if you could.
Yeah,
if you don't mind. Just so
don't
miss anything out. I think she was trying to drink petrol and assaulted the emergency worker, which is exactly what I did when I was harming myself. And then she's been arrested and put in prison for it in style.
Yeah, I'll do a brief. I won't go into it too deep, but it just says the mother of a youngest woman to die in jail for 20 years says her daughter was failed by a lack of mental health support despite screaming from the rooftop for help. Annalize was sentenced in June 2020 to 52 weeks in custody at HMP Style after she assaulted a paramedic who went to her aid. 6 months later, she took her own life. She was 18 years old. Wow. Miss Sanderson grew up in Runcorn in Cheshire and had struggled with her mental health from an early age. The first time she attempted suicide, she was just 9 years old, and her mother, Angela, believes she should have been sent to a psychiatric hospital, not a prison. Again, which is correct. This is a lack of the system. Sorry, I've lost. 8 days after she arrived at HMP Style, she was removed from suicide watch. Her mum says her calls for help were ignored. The teenager was initially due to be released on Christmas Eve, but had 4 weeks added to her sentence for a separate matter. And on December 22, she was pronounced dead in her cell, weeks before she was due to be released. Annalise, didn't care anymore, Miss Gray told ITV News. She was screaming from the rooftops for help. Rooftops for help. She was asking for help. I was asking for help for her, and she was just being ignored. I think if she was given the right mental health support, they could have helped her, given her better coping mechanisms rather than turning to self-harm and suicide. They could have given her tips and ideas what to do if you feel like this, what to do if you feel like that. But she wasn't given that intervention. She wasn't given that chance. Miss Sanderson's death is one of 11 self-inflicted deaths at the prison since 2007, more than any other woman's prison in England. She was the youngest woman to die in prison in 20 years, and in December, 2 women died there within a week. Rates of self-harm in women's prisons are a record high, 11 times higher in female prisons than males. Guys, yeah, we already know that. We know the statistics between the men's and the women's prison, but I don't know if it's because, it's women are more vocal about it. Women will, the amount of women that walked around and, sort of showed their scars. Do men hide them? Do men keep it quieter? Is that why they say that the women's are more like higher than the men's? We don't actually know. I think men hide things a lot more than what the women do.
I think with the men as well, they seem to take it out on each other more than they take it out on themselves. There's more violence towards each other in men's prisons. and then the women are more likely to inflict it on their own self. That's just my opinion.
I'm
It's not
just going to
fact, but-
jump on and answer one question quickly.
Mhm.
So, Leslie, just a fucking goddamn minute. People are put in prison for this instead of getting help. Yes. So there are so many women that have, and I mean, see, this is very serious mental health, but there's another level of mental health, as in where they will scream all night. They'll rip their
Mhm.
face apart. They actually like think that their teddies are their children. You know, I got another one that was walking around with like a lead with a wash bag, saying it was their dog and stuff like that. And when I spoke to a prison officer and said, you know, why are these women in here? What happens is when the beds are full at the mental hospital because they've committed a crime and they can't be on the streets, they put them in prison instead. So I just wanted to clarify that up, why they end up in prison.
Yeah, there was an autistic lady and she had lots of teddies, and the time I was in there for like 5 and whatever months I was in there, she came in and out about 3 times, and she obviously had mental health, and they just kept putting her in. And there was a lady there, right? She had really bad mental health problems, and she wasn't even meant to be in prison, but they couldn't release her because they had nowhere for her to go. But she wasn't even meant to be in prison, so she was being held against her will for not even no crime because they had nowhere to put her. Like, and the screws were like, what? They looked it up and they were like, oh my god, she's not meant to be here. She's not meant to be in prison. Like, she's meant to be released. That's what they were all saying.
There's probably more to it though than that. She probably like, because obviously it's illegal to keep somebody in past or
That's
in
what
prison
I
full
thought.
stop. There probably was signed off by the court that she was too much of a danger to be on the
Right.
street. So that's why they would have kept her in there. I mean, that's,
That makes sense.
yeah, there'll be more to it, and the officers, they like to stir it up and make something that it's not as well. You know what they're like. But there definitely would have been more to that. It wouldn't have just been that she's in there and she's not done anything, and et cetera, et cetera. So there, you know, that's probably more, like I said.
There isn't the help out there. I don't want to make this about me because this isn't about me, but I need to say my experience because it's similar, but obviously I managed to come out of it. I first tried to unalive at age 10. I used to lay on my bed and pray and cry, just God, please just let me not be here anymore. I've got to watch what words I'm saying. Absolutely suicidal at age 10. That's when my mental health really got bad. I got diagnosed with severe OCD to the point where I couldn't go to school because I couldn't leave my room because I had to keep doing these repetitive things. Got to the point where I thought people could read my mind, and I would think that they would think that I was thinking something horrible about my mum, and I'd get really bad anxiety, like thinking people could. I was really ill. Right. Anyway, so I got therapy in that, and I got a bit better. And then by the time I got to 13, I started messing around with alcohol and like smoke, and then it just escalated. My problems just escalated, and I've then had addiction problems my whole life. But anyway, so when I got really, really ill and had this nervous breakdown, I went to the hospital. Right, so I've been in there for an overdose. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get flagged for this on my YouTube, but I got rushed in there. I took everything in my whole house, and I was on my back throwing up in the front room, and the police put the door in, and I don't know if I'd be here if paramedics hadn't got me. I was going in and out of consciousness. I was harming myself to the point where fat was hanging out my legs, and I was having to have all my legs all stitched up, like 6 stitches and that in my legs. And like this, I would hurt myself so bad. I'd break my own nose, and I would have like hematomas going up from here all the way down to here, and I have to have brain scans because I would just get things. Like, I was really ill, and when the police or paramedics would come, I would start freaking out because I wasn't right in the head. I didn't understand what was going on. I was so unwell, and I'd lash out, and the police would do me for assault. And in the end, I did assault the police, and I did deserve to go to prison. Like, this isn't the same as Annalise. But before all this escalated, I went to the hospital and I begged. I said, please. And my mum, who works at the hospital, came with me. We were begging, please, can you put me in the mental unit in the hospital? I need help. I'm a danger to myself and I'm a danger to others. And they said to me, are you hearing voices? And I said, no, I'm not hearing voices, but I'm really, really unwell. And they said, well, if you're not hearing voices, we can't help you. And they sent me away. And 2 days later is when I ended up getting arrested. So there isn't the help out there. I don't know the full situation of this poor girl, but it's a massive problem in the prisons. Like when I was in there, and I'm sure you can relate, like people the screaming all night and the covering themselves in feces or like trash in their room. And we went mad because they left this poor girl for over a week completely naked in her room with food and and everything was trashed, and she was just would look in the little hatch and she'd just be doing this, like staring at the wall. And we kept saying someone needs to help her, but they didn't have any room in healthcare, so they left her like that. Like,
yeah, you know, I'm really on the fence with it. I think the massive failure. Hey, Kaylee, we're just talking about Annalise, who sadly took her own life. I'm sorry if this triggers anybody. I mean, I've been through mental health myself, but I'm really on the fence with putting all the blame on the prison, because these people are what's the word? They're thingy before prison.
unwell.
No. What's the word? Not neglected. You know when? Come on, guys. What's the word? They're failed. That's it. They're failed by the system before prison comes, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
out
definitely.
here, there's more money. There's more doctors. There's more this. There's more that. Yeah. So when you get to prison, they're prison officers. They're not mental health workers. They're prison officers, right? And back in the day, there was none of this mental health in prison, like workers. There's none of this help back in the day. So as the years go on, you know, I believe they're trying to do better. Did they do enough? No. You know, this poor girl. My God, you know, it's horrific. But everything can't be put on the prison. Like her mum said, you know, they've asked for help. They cried for help. Her mum has asked for help. You know, the girl, it must be on the record, like the girl's tried to take her life at 9 years old. Like, God knows what hell the poor little thing was going through. And so why was this not picked up? Why has everyone got
Yeah.
a failure? And then it's like, yeah, the prison's fault. It's the prison's fault she took her life. No. It's the system
Yeah, I agree.
before that. It's the system before that, you know. And, you know, again, in Bronzefield, what can they do? What can
Thank
they
you.
do if all the beds are taken in healthcare? What can they do? And I'm not saying the prisons are great. I'm not. You know me. I'm quick to talk bad on the prison, but I'm also quick to talk good on the prison as well, because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair sometimes when you don't know the whole ins and outs of a story. You know, like I've said to you before, when I was a listener and we walked down healthcare, you were always told to walk with your back against the wall and stay away from the hatches, because they'd throw feces and stuff at you, or they'd throw anything they can at you walking past. So how many times did that officer try and go in the room where the girl's covered in feces? How do you know a day before they weren't had like we thrown at them? Because that's what they do. That's what they do. Not all of them, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, that's what they, so where's where are
Yeah,
you
no, you're
taking this
right.
girl? What do they do? Physically manhandle her,
They
beat
did in
her
the
into
end.
the shower? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they probably don't want to go down that path. They're probably thinking, I'd
They
rather
had
them
to
rough her
get
up.
the guys with all the gear on, and then
That's
they
what I'm
had to, and it
saying.
was terrible. We could hear her screaming, and she was naked, and they were trying to wrap a blanket round. It was just awful.
That's what
But
I'm
yeah,
saying.
you're
It's like
right.
a last
It's what they're
resort
not
thing.
trained in mental health, so there's no.
No.
I mean, down where I am, apparently they're building a new mental health hospital, but whether it happens or not, I don't know. I don't know. It's just so sad.
It's
Really
just
is. She's so
yeah,
young,
it's a tough one,
and a poor
like
mum.
that's what I'm
I bet
saying.
I bet she feels so guilty, and it isn't even her fault. Because as a parent, you would feel guilty even if it isn't your fault. Like, I can't imagine, like, I just can't. The apps right before, not that any time's bad, but right before Christmas.
I wasn't laughing at you guys, by the way, because obviously people that watch this later have just, it looks like I just laughed at you. I'm laughing at a comment on the screen,
No,
sorry.
that's all right. And thank you
Um,
for the people. I've had a new subscriber. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you.
yeah,
I
you
am going
know,
to make some better videos. I've been extremely depressed and I barely got off the sofa. Literally, it's been so bad. I've lost a stone in like about 3 weeks
but
from
my,
not eating. So
yeah,
sorry about my YouTube lacking. Sorry, Fran, go on.
that's right. My best friend's brother, he hung himself when we were teenagers, and I watched that destroy her and the family, and like that was like horrific to
How
go
old was
through as a
he?
teenager. Like I never, you know, the police called me up and they was going like, "Are you Fran?" And I was like, "Yeah." I remember the house phone, obviously back then, you know, the old twisty phones.
Mm.
And they were like, "Are you Fran?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Fran down the road." I'm like, "Yeah, who's this?" And there's like, "You need," because her brother went missing for a day, and there's like, "You need to come to whatever house address." And I knew I was walking up because I had her brother's jacket on, and we was all obviously really close. And I remember walking up with my friend, and I said to him, take my coat and take it, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow, because I knew. And obviously the worst thing I could do was knock the door and be in like Alan's coat. So
Mm.
I've knocked the door. Karen's just like falling in my arms, and mum's screaming in the background. Like I've literally watched. Oh, thank you for the subscription. I've literally watched it destroy a whole family. So I don't, I know what it's like to lose someone through suicide. I've actually personally watched firsthand, we're still best friends now, what it's done to the family, that, no one's ever the same again. Like no one's supposed to lose a child. But the
No.
worst bit is for this woman, not on my side now, on Annalise's mum, is the fact that, I hope she doesn't like have guilt and blame herself, because at the end of the day, it sounds like that she tried, and anyone wants to blame is the system out here.
Mm.
It's not necessarily the system in here. Sorry, in the prison, it's why was this not stopped before? Why was she not given some sort of help? What, like I said a minute ago, 9 years old,
How did it
like
escalate?
it's madness.
And another thing that happens as well, say somebody's really unwell and they have a substance misuse, like they're drinking or they're taking something because they're trying to numb their pain, they refuse to help them. They say, we can't help you. But it goes hand in hand. Like if someone's in this state, like I haven't, like luckily the last month, when I say I've been ill, I've been ill. Like I know I haven't got my hair and makeup done now, but I was really unwell. Like I haven't been able to eat, sleep properly, nothing. Like it's been awful. But I kept saying to mum, don't worry, I'm not going to go and drink or anything. I'm not, because I know that she's going to be worried, because of in the past I've gone and tried to numb the pain with something, but I just kept telling myself it will pass, it will pass. But it's like she was so young, like 18, man. Oh, it's just so sad.
That's one thing I liked about Send, because they're like, they called it, I think it's more like like suicide watch. So their cells, and maybe this is what the prisons need to do more. I said to you before, they have like 2 cells next to each other. They got the prison like American bars, and an officer will sit outside, so somebody will be on cell watch for 24 hours. They'll take shifts, obviously, but someone's there watching them for 24 hours. So like in healthcare, they're just down. So have you ever been to healthcare in Bronzefield?
I wasn't. No, I didn't.
So you basically, I don't know what, have you been in any other prisons?
No, I was only in Bronzefield.
Okay, so when you go into healthcare, you go into a door. Let's say, for example, you've got 10 cells all in a
Yeah.
row on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is a wall. So you've got a little walkway. You walk down to the very other end, and there's an office where they sit in the office.
Is this in Bronzefield? So
Yeah,
it's
this
not
is
like
in
a spur.
Bronzefield. No, so it's not like no, it's
Is it like,
tiny in
when you
comparison to
get a
that.
nicking in prison? Is it like that? Is it set out like that? Like the area where, when you get a nicking and they put you in a little hole in the
So
sand and they've got bed.
have you been down the segregation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like segregation. So it's got, like, say, I don't know, let's
Right.
just say it's got 10 cells, but it's a bit longer, and there's no other rooms all up the side. And it's a lot longer than that. And
Right.
then
Okay.
on one end, you go in one door, and the other end is the office. But whereas in HMP Send, they've got 2 rooms next to each other. I mean, you're screwed if you've got more people than that, but like I said, there's no door. It's like an American jail bars, from top to bottom, so they can watch you for
Right.
24 hours, and the gap is so small, like the officer's chair is basically there, like right
So
next to
they're
it. So
actual bars.
yeah,
So
they're
they
not.
could literally chuck anything out of there then.
Yeah, but they call it suicide watch.
Yeah.
So, it's if
So
someone is ligaturing or in a
mm,
really bad way and the prison pick up on it, that's where they'll be going. And that for me seems like a much better system than putting someone in segregation where they can scream and kick and bang all day long. Or if they're quiet, they think they're just sleeping and that's it. But I
yeah.
don't know. I don't think it'd be right. I don't think it'd be right, but I don't know if they have cameras in healthcare. I'd be surprised if they had cameras in the cell, but
Yeah, I
then
have no idea.
yeah.
Oh, you're from Brighton. I'm from Eastbourne, so I'm not far. Sorry, I just got sidetracked.
No, you're all
But
right,
yeah,
that's all
so
right.
in Bronzefield, in healthcare, do they have the open hatches? Like they do in the ones? Because when they're
Yeah,
like,
so they come down, so they're square and they come down
oh,
rather
okay,
than
so it's not
uh,
like the ones in the ones that are
n
open and you can slide
no,
the hatch
when you're in
across.
a prison cell,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I
it's like that.
see. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. I didn't know that. I'm just picturing it
because
to be like the
they
ones.
have to be able to put the trays through because they if one's
Right.
kicking off, they'll put it on the thing and then they'll walk away.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been down to healthcare. I did
I'd only
get a
been
nick in and go. Oh, so I went down to where the seg was. I wasn't actually in seg, but I got a nick in and got put in a holding cell.
Yeah,
But
I'd only been there because I got called out a couple of times as a listener.
oh, I
So
bet
you
that
get
was hard. I
it,
bet
it
that was hard.
Do you know what? Yeah, like it was tough because you wake up because you feel real sad and you wake up and you're like, right, I need to go and check on this person the next morning. Like if
Yeah,
they're in a real bad way, it kind of sits on you all night, but then it's kind of also rewarding because you know that
you're
they've called
helping.
you out, like they've, that you're there to support them. But I remember when I got called out the first time to healthcare, I was like, oh my God, because what happens is at night time, the papa locks you in. So you're locked in that cell. There's 2 of you at night time, but you get locked in that cell with that prisoner. So if you've got a proper, like, like crazy person and they switch
Mm,
upon you, you've got to press the buzzer, but then you've got to wait for like the night staff, because like I've explained a couple of times before, there's only 2 officers walk around the prisons at the whole night time, and they're the only ones with a key. So if they're over dealing with another situation on the other
yeah,
side of the
you're
prison, you've got
stuck
to
in
wait for
there.
them. You're locked in this room. Yeah. So the first time I ever got called out to healthcare, I was like, oh no. I was a little bit like shit
Did
because I
you
don't know
ever
who's
have
down
to?
there.
This is going off topic a bit, but did you ever have to sit there and talk to someone who'd done a crime that you couldn't bear?
Thank God, no.
Because that would have been like, I don't know if I
Thank
could have done
God,
that.
no. Yeah, I'm so blessed and so grateful. I've never even never sat in a room with somebody that I knew was a wrong 'un. And yeah, and obviously never heard a story of someone being a wrong 'un.
Because that girl that left her baby for 6 days and then the baby passed, she was a red coat. So she was actually a listener and going around. She come around and tried to talk to me, and then I found out who she was.
Hang on, was she a red coat or was she a listener? Because a red coat are 2 different things.
Oh, are
So
they? Oh, I thought it
yeah.
was one of the same.
No. So a red coat is a meet and greet. That's what I'd done as well. So I was an
Well,
induction
why was
worker.
she allowed to just walk around to any wing she
Be
wanted?
because it doesn't matter your crime, you are still entitled, you are treated the same as any other prisoner. That's
No,
the
I
problem.
mean, if you're a red coat, are you just allowed to just go on to any wing and just mess about?
Yeah, so literally, I have it here actually. So this is actually my red
Sorry,
coat
guys, I'm going off
passport.
topic.
So
Oh wow.
this is what you get. This is actually my induction worker one. So you'll go on. So this is it's called a passport. So this gave me the privilege to walk around anywhere in the prison I wanted to.
Oh.
But every time I went onto a wing, you had to get it signed and dated
Mm.
by an officer the time you went on and the time you left. So it was just dependent on what officer you had on. So obviously you can see And I had one for being a listener, and I had one for being a recovery mentor. So as it says, induction peer passport bronze
And
belt.
was
You
that
see that?
from Bronzefield?
Yeah, it says
Yeah.
it there. You see
Oh,
that?
right, yeah. Oh,
So,
that's really interesting that you've kept. Oh, you got it as well. That's
yeah,
so
I've got
cool.
my listener ones. The listener one was the same, but it was just green and it said listener.
So,
So yeah,
um,
so anyone that's a red coat has that entitlement to go round, sponsored by
right,
Spotify.
okay.
Entitlement to go around the prison, but obviously it just depends what officers are on. If they want to watch you and be funny, I could go and see anyone I wanted to, really. If I don't
I've got.
know, you're the one who picked up that it was because she done it this morning. That's why.
Oh yeah, sorry, I messed it up. I always mess up the live. So if anyone sees a thing saying there's a live and it doesn't work at the time, check, because I'll probably have to redo it because I'm just absolutely useless. What was I going to say? Oh, okay. So this is off topic again, but when me and my cellmate used to know what officer was on at night by the sound of their footsteps. Did you ever have that?
Only with a couple. There was a couple of creepers that I
Because
knew.
we were up the top and we were right near the stairs, and we literally, because I suppose it's like when you're a kid, you know if your mum or dad's walking upstairs or down the stairs because you can tell by the sound of the footsteps. And I suppose it's like if someone, it's not the same, but like when someone can't see, their hearing becomes like what they use. And because we
Yeah.
couldn't see because it's all dark, and we picked up and we were like, oh, that such and such is on, because
Yeah,
we
no,
could tell by the footsteps. It's
yeah,
really
you can,
bizarre.
because there was two. Now you're saying it. One would stomp like doof, doof, so you'd know who she was, and the other one would try and tiptoe, but you would just hear the creeping. But I didn't know like loads of them. There's only two that stand out to me.
Yeah, I think there was like 3 different ones, but that's a whole other subject. But yeah, has anyone got any questions about anything to do with mental health in prison or anything like that?
I will answer one. What are more worse, men's or women's? I'd say men all day long.
What?
In
Oh
women,
yeah.
men don't fuck around in comparison to women's, like sex offenders and stuff like that. They don't they will get seen to by men, and pretty quickly if they get their hands on them.
Saying that, they put a sex offender on our wing and they couldn't let her out of the cell. Like a riot almost started. People were throwing stuff at the cell door, saying they were gonna end it all for her, absolutely losing their minds. They had to lock us all up, and everyone was screaming out through the hatches, "You better get her off of here." So it depends who's on the wing and what wing they put you on. I don't know why they put her on the most leery wing on the block. I don't know why they done that, but she got moved to another one, and the same. And then like I don't know where they put her. They must have put her on the 4s in the end, because I know she couldn't settle on the 2s. Every
Yeah,
time they
no.
put her on another wing, she would end up not being allowed to be out of her cell. But yeah, the men's are more brutal, because the thing is, right? What if the girls really wanted to get her, they would have kept their mouth shut and waited for her to come out. That's what men would do. They'd just keep their mouth shut and wait for them to come out, and then
Yeah,
get
that's what I
them,
mean.
rather,
If they,
rather than giving them the warning and making a big scene.
that's the
Because then,
problem. That's the problem with women. A lot of them have got all talk and no action, so they know you know they know how to manipulate it. They know how to be like, oh, we'll shout and scream, we'll pre-warn it. I actually got to do nothing, but I look like the big bad one. Like I
I
look like
think
I'm hard.
everyone wanted that off, and I think a lot of the girls were like wanted to get out soon. They didn't want another charge. And
So
like that, they didn't. No one wanted her on there. So I think like there was one girl, right? She cracks me up. She was going berserk, and it was breakfast, right? So they're serving breakfast, and I was standing there, and I'm not going to say her name, and I was like, "Calm down, like calm down." She's freaking out. I don't know what happened to her in the past. Maybe that triggered her because that someone was on there for that crime. One of the screws come up, and he was trying to calm her down. He's like, "What is the point? What are you getting out of getting this angry?" And as he said that, I said, just go and get your breakfast, right? So she's gone. I'm doing it because it makes me feel breakfast. I mean better. I was just
Okay.
I was dying of laughter because it makes me feel very good.
I don't
I
know.
wish I could show you the image of it because it was just it was so funny. Ah,
I think that one's for you from Colton. Izzy. Um, what is mental health? I don't know if this is like something like
aw.
I don't know if this is a taking the mick question or not. Like, and if you're not taking the mick, then mental health is something that comes in all different forms. So it can be from depression,
Mhm.
hearing voices. That's sweet, good. That's lovely. Well, yeah. So literally, it can. Oh, do you need a hug? I think he needs a hug. I think he needs a hug, man. Yeah, so it comes in all different forms. So it comes depression, you know. um, I'm losing my track now looking at everyone's comments. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
sorry, I'm not laughing at what you're
I
saying. I was
know that's what
laughing
I'm
at the
saying. It's supposed to be like a real serious topic, but it's this idiot
oh,
just
I
throwing me off.
know.
Um, yeah, so depression, hearing voices, not knowing who the hell you are, self-harming, literally, like I can't. I'm gonna just have to stop for a minute. I know these guys are quite whoever's like jumping on the block in well done because
Yeah, thank
literally
you so much.
yeah,
Is
because
it I think it might be
I'm trying to be
Samantha.
serious, and their comments are just so stupid. It's like I'll tell you guys,
Thank
they're
you,
saying things like
Mod.
"I love poo," so it's literally like I'm laughing at that. I'm not laughing.
It
I'm
must be a
laughing at
kid. It must be a
how
teenager.
immature. I don't know. These grown ass adults are
God.
weird too. Yeah, so I'm not laughing at the situation
No,
obviously or the
no, no, no.
topic we're
It's
on
because it
because
isn't it
I've
really
just
isn't
shared a
funny.
story that's very close to my heart and it's not
Yeah,
funny.
sorry, guys. Start again because and I'm not even
I'm
gonna
not
look at the
answering it
stuff.
anymore. I've tried to answer it twice and I ain't getting nowhere. So you do it. You take over.
Can mental health affect you physically too? Yeah, I've like lost a stone from not being able to eat. You can get physically ill from mental health. That can happen. Like I mean, before when I got really ill when I was being abused, I went down to a size 6. I didn't eat, and I'm not joking. I didn't eat anything for over 2 months. And I'm not exaggerating. Like now, I'll eat a bit of toast every now and again, like once a day or something. I'll have something small. But when I was being abused, I didn't eat for over 2 months, not one thing. And then when I did try again, when I got taken away from the situation and I was trying to eat, I would physically throw it up because my stomach just couldn't keep it down. So I was really physically weak and had no energy. I was so weak, I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was having to crawl on my hands and knees upstairs because I just was so weak and dizzy. So yeah, it can affect you physically.
Sean, I'm glad you didn't do anything stupid and please always think about your family and friends. And let me tell you something now, tomorrow's always a better day.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
tomorrow's always a better day and just talk to someone because I've been there. Like I think you'll be surprised that most of the population's probably been there. Um and yeah, you've just got to fight through a bad day and they always say tomorrow's a better day. Deep inside.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody I can see because it went up quick. Somebody said that they had a breakdown and they were like bones or something. And so yeah, I get that. Like it's a horrible place to be, especially when you get to the point where you don't care if you're here or not. It's a really surreal, it's like an out of body experience. Well, for me, it was like an out of body experience because it was just so strange because I had no fear of anything or anyone. And that's one of the reasons why when I went to prison, I wasn't scared of going. I had no anxiety. I didn't care less. Whereas if I got taken now and I'd never been to prison, I would have been like, oh my God, I'd have been crapping it. But because I didn't care if I was here or not anymore, and I was injuring myself, I wasn't scared what someone else was going to do to me. I was beating myself up. So it's a very weird place to be in, and there needs to be more help. It's like I feel like because you can't see it, they don't have to treat it. Because
Yeah,
if you
it's
turn
not
up with a
visual.
broken leg and they send you away, they're going to get sued. But if you turn up with mental health, they can
Mm,
they can just send you away and oh we can't help. But do you know what I mean? If it's a physical injury, they have to help, and that's where I think it's wrong. If someone's come to the hospital and says, I need help, I'm desperate, I need help, they need to take it seriously before it escalates to the point of people ending up committing a crime.
100%. And someone said, did prisoners often try and commit suicide? Yeah, they did. A big one would be like ligaturing. So they would get like
Mm,
shoelaces and stuff like that and try and and try and strangle themselves. I met a woman that crossed paths through me doing induction work. She left and sadly took her own life. You know, there's a lot of, there's actually, I'll say, look, well, there's too many women that take their life in prison or definitely try to. And also, Sean, this is like a little prison family now. So you joined in, you know, you come and join, and you'll be surprised how many of us suffer with mental health. So you're always welcome to have a little chat with us, guys.
Yeah, we're going to try and do it every Sunday. And like, obviously, this isn't a major thing that's out in the news, but it's an important thing to cover.
I think it's more. Listen, you know, sorry, I know I just cut you off.
No,
Yeah,
no,
this is the biggest. This is the biggest joke. Yeah, Lucy let me all over the news for. Oh, okay, no, fine. Let me word this. It's like, once she's sentenced, they still got to bring up shit going on about the whole key and all that. Something like this should be not obviously what crime she's committed, but this should be big. This should be blown up like that. This should be like out there, because this is not spoken about enough. And the government, not the prisons, the government needs to do something more for women and men in prison. And I bet you, actually, I'm not going to bet you nothing because I don't know facts, but it's something that I'm going to have a look into. I wonder what it like. I wonder if I feel like I bet the men's suicide is probably more than women's.
Do you think?
Yeah. Just because I feel like women are more vocal. Women are more vocal than men, and it's more accepted in a prison for females. Men, I don't feel like it probably is. Literally, my friend at work had a phone call the other day, and from someone that he's in prison, and they found a guy had hung himself in his cell. So let's have a look. I'm gonna actually, you keep talking, and I'm actually gonna have a look into this now.
Has anybody got any questions? Is there any? I can't even say that word. Statistics. That's what
look. Is there more?
It's just, I mean, it must be a really hard job actually being a prison officer. Think of all the misery that they're around all day, every day for them long shifts. The sadness, the cries, the screaming, and then they go home and then they come back and have to do it all over again.
Doesn't really give me.
When
male prisoners are 3.7 times more likely to die from suicide.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do new prisoners get to see a psychiatrist? Not really. They ask you a few questions. And
no, sorry. This says that the male prisoners are 3.7 times more likely to die from suicide than the public. But it doesn't say about the statistics against women. I'm really hot.
How do I manage my mental health? I don't get any support. There isn't any support. I've been waiting on the list for an ADHD exam, and I'm still waiting. I literally haven't dealt with it. I've been starving. I've not been sleeping I won't sleep for 2 days in a row. Sorry, go on.
I've just had it pinged over to me, Glenna. You're the best. Of the 677 deaths caused by suicide in prison custody between 2008 to 2019, the large majority were male deaths, accounting for 97% compared to the 20 female deaths. So theirs was 657 in comparison to the 20 females. So yeah, that's what I want to say. That's how I felt. I felt like the male would do it more because the women are so much more vocal, and this is actually a freaking hell of a lot more than what I thought it would be.
Yeah,
so you guys can see.
I'm shocked at that.
I'm not. I'm shocked at how much, but I'm not shocked at the males.
Because they wouldn't ask for help as much as women.
No.
You get different sort of mental health. You get mental health where someone doesn't know what's going on around them, to the point where they actually they're literally gone. They don't know what's going on. And then you've got the severe depression, but you still know what's going on. I still knew who I was. Like, I hadn't completely lost it, but I'd lost it to the point where it was dangerous because I was a risk to myself and others. I could have ended up in there for life so in a way, look, it's a good job I did go to prison because something bad was going to end up happening. But if they'd helped me when I'd asked, maybe it wouldn't have escalated to that. If they'd sectioned me and got me on the right medication, why did I have to go to prison to get that?
I got no. So I wanted to answer Nathan's question because
Yeah.
do prison officers bring drugs in that make things worse? Do they eliminate prisoners on the sly and say they killed themselves? Do they torment and bully inmates to the point of suicide? No. They do like to try and torment you. I mean, I've had officers wind me up flat out. Yes, they bring in drugs. No, they don't bring them in to eliminate prisoners. They bring them in to make money and they sell them to the prisoners. They don't have no morals in regarding their job role. And they
Sorry, go on.
so no, they don't do things like that. I have to clear that up. They definitely bring in drugs, but no, they don't do it and give it out just to get prisoners to kill themselves. And I do think there was a little bit of bullying going on by officers. Not all officers, small majority.
There was some that I really
Different treatment. That I definitely got better treatment than other prisoners. Like, my friends will tell you, they've already said it on my lives before, I got treated very different to other prisoners. So that in itself is like a little bit of a form of bullying.
Because the clique that I was in, we would be like, they're not coming on our wing. Like, the girls would be like, that person's not coming on our wing. And the officers would literally then not put someone on that wing because the prisoners said so. Because it was just easy for them. It was easier for them to keep that clique on their side because they knew all the mayhem, because it was a loud bunch of quite dominating women. If they just went along with what they wanted, it was easier for their shit. Like, it was just easier for them to just do what the girls wanted to a certain extent. But like, they'd be like, right, we're moving you and you over to 3. So we'd be like, no, we're not going. You're gonna have to bend us up. And in the end, they would have to go and get someone off another wing and move them. Like, why would they not just make us do it? Like, what? Because there's certain other prisoners that they wouldn't have had a choice. They'd have dragged them there. So why is it they do that? Why do they listen to some people and not others? It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, they just, if they know someone's going to kick up,
like a hierarchy.
They don't. But it's just like, I don't know. I think as well sometimes, like, I was like cheeky. I was like cheeky naughty, but with manners. And I think that's what they quite liked about me in that aspect. So, but sometimes I had to kick off and shout and scream to get my own way. But that's how they teach you, isn't it? If you're a yes sir, no sir 24/7, you don't get what you want.
Thank you, everyone, for your nice comments. I'm not ignoring them. I'm reading them all, but because we're talking, I can't reply.
It's hard, isn't it?
But thank you so much. I really appreciate the lovely comments. And whoever likes poo, you can go away and sniff some poo on your own. Leave us alone.
I know.
Really
don't. Trying to be serious as well.
It's so weird, isn't it? They ran out of Pepsi Max.
Oh no.
I had to get normal Pepsi. It's all right.
And Bronzefield, I think it holds 550 women.
550 I think women. It is.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's definitely 500 and something. I know that much.
Yeah.
What about Send?
Send is 250.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's all right. I messed up the live anyway. Coke Zero. Oh no, Samantha. Sorry, I'm going off topic now.
It always does, though. Do you know what? It gets like this again.
Coke Zero has no taste to it. Do you agree? Like Pepsi Max has taste.
I'm not a fan of it.
Prisoners who are bullies. I don't know. I stuck up for a few people that were being bullied. I don't like bullies. Like, I know I've committed crimes and like I beat a police officer up and stuff like that, but I don't like people that deliberately pick on vulnerable people. So I didn't really have any problems. You didn't have any problems either, did you, Fran?
No.
But there were girls in there that I saw getting picked on, and me and my mates. Well, I remember I've said before about the girl, the deaf lady. There's other instances as well. But because the Gemma Mitchell, she went in someone selling, poor little Spanish lady, quite young she was, about 19. this Gemma Mitchell went in and nicked her mattress, and everyone's stuck up for the girl and kicked off. So like a lot of the time, there's other girls that will step in if someone's being picked on.
Mm.
It depends who's on the wing, but I didn't really have to deal with bullies myself.
I've got mine somewhere. That's a picture of it. I don't know where exactly it is. Someone asked me
What's
if we
that?
still
Your
have the
card that
ID
you had?
card. Yeah, I've got it somewhere. That was one of my pictures. That's in my little jail
How did
folder.
you get a picture of it? I wanted to take mine
No, I've
home, but
actually
they're
got my
like, you have to
card.
give it in.
I've actually got my card. These are all like my
I've got my
jail.
mugshot.
That's
I've got.
family day in prison in Send. But
Oh.
no, I've got it. It's this because I've got a little. My album's got. So I've done a jail album. So it's got like my prison cell pictures and all that in there. I had it. I took a picture of my ID card because you know when you make videos for TikTok, I made it on there. That's why someone asked, and I haven't got it at hand, but I've got a picture, so I was just showing that I've still got it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to take mine, but they were like, no, you've got to give it in and that. And I was like, oh. But I've got, you know, the paper. So outside your cell, they'll put a photocopy of your mugshot in your door.
Yeah.
I've got that. I've got 2 of them. I've got one from the first time, one from the second time.
I think I've actually got mine somewhere as well. I
Because
don't know where I put it.
we
I've got
used to
2 ID
swap with
cards.
each other. So we used to put them in each other's cells so the officers would get confused with who was in the cell.
Yeah.
Just stupid, just to pass time, you know, like at night we
laugh,
switch
ain't
over
ya?
to that bang up, like hoping that they would notice when the next song would come in. But yeah, that like someone said about the bullying, yes, yeah, just stand your, as long as you don't go around opening your gob all the time about other people, and you just don't obviously let anyone pick on you. Just
Yeah, you have got to stand your ground. Confidence is key, mate.
it's the what's the word? The impression you give off as well, like how you hold yourself. It's you have to be able to navigate yourself in prison, otherwise you're going to end up having a really hard time. And I saw there was one girl that come in and I told her so many times, keep your mouth shut. She just kept talking about people all the time. And me and this other girl just kept looking at each other, like shaking her head, like, when is she going to learn? And she nearly got dragged into cell, beat up. She had to get taken off the wing and everything. She just wouldn't shut her mouth. So you have to know how to navigate yourself. You have to be thinking everything you do. I would think about it twice. Like, you know, like, is that like I'd really concentrate on what I was saying to who, because things can get twisted. Like, you can say a sentence and someone's going to twist it round to you saying something else. Because I had that before, and I was like, what? And I was like, what? Someone accused me of saying something about someone else. I was like, look, I'm not being funny. If I was going to say, I'll say it to your face if I wanted to. Like, I did. I've got no reason to say it behind your back. And it was like just massive drama. And I was like, oh. But bullying, I didn't really have anyone try and bully me. Do you sell in ladies? Do you single sell in ladies? Oh, yeah, there are single cells. But I used to like going in a double, but I'd always pick who was in with me. That's another thing.
So it's just a bit nookie.
Why would they just let me choose who was in my cell? Like, I saw other girls and they'd force them to have people in their cell.
No, you're allowed to. No. In Bronzefield, they want you to find somebody. So what happens is they give you the option, but they say to you, right, by the end of today, you've got to find somebody. Or if you know your pads mate's going, you can have anyone you want as long as they're not a high profile.
Yeah,
in your cell. Otherwise, they force people to double up. They don't want that.
Okay, maybe there was no other option.
If you've got someone that you've chosen, you both agree to go in together, their life's easy. So if then they go and go, right,
That
Fran,
makes
you're
sense.
going in with Corinne, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. And then I start kicking off, I start bullying you, I start taking your shit, and then it just causes a massive drama. Do you know what I mean? So they'd much rather
I
have
like having
someone
someone in
you
my
pick.
cell.
No, that was always a thing in Bronzefield, always.
Did you
And it
prefer
makes
being in a
sense.
single?
Oh yeah, I couldn't stand being in a double. I hated
Really?
it. Hated it.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. Like, in the situation, I loved it. Like, because I don't like sitting with my own thoughts.
No, I didn't at
Then
first,
I relive. Like, I have post-traumatic. I have complex PTSD, so I get flashbacks and I relive things, and it's worse if I'm on my own.
but it's like saying, just let some random stranger come and share your room, share your bed with you for like You wouldn't do it on the outside, and you're locked up in a cell with that person. So it's just as risky, mate. Because at night time, ain't no one come into your cell quick. They could get a razor blade,
I'd
slit
only
your
have
throat, do
someone
whatever
in
they want.
myself. I always chose who went in with me though, but I'm quite good at judging
I don't know if it's
characters.
you or me. Oh, I just was lagging a bit then. I don't know if it was you or me.
Oh, is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I only had people that I'm quite good at judging the character, and I was unluckily I had 4 different cellmates from all the time I was in there, and every single one was lovely. Had no issues with them, but there was girls in there, and they were like, this girl, she was like, oh my god, she was washing her dirty skidders in the sink in the cell, and this girl was like, I can't take it anymore. And we could see her, this girl, like sitting there picking her nose and then eating her food, and this poor girl was having to share with this woman, and she was like literally hated it. No, I'm not. I mean, this one I want to get removed because it's just faded and horrible. But that one I'm not getting rid of. I don't care. Like, it's got a bit of makeup on it. That's why it looks faded.
I was gonna say, I think this because the makeup that's made it.
Yeah. That one I do want to get removed. I just haven't got round to it because it's just really tacky and crap. But that one I want to keep. It's just got makeup smeared on it. Did anyone escape? There's no one. Oh no. Well, when I was in Bronzeville, no one tried to escape. There's no way you could escape, is there, Fran?
No.
From Bronze. What about Send? Could you escape?
Not Send, you could, but they kind of, it's like, you know, the dude that escaped from the Mouse prison not long ago.
Yeah.
So in Send, you've literally, let's say you're coming in for a visit, you've got the gate that opens one end, a car stops in the middle, opens the next gate, you're in the prison. So that's it. And then you're in the whole prison ground. So like, I can walk right up to the gate. And then so people could, like, if you went, so when a van was there, if you went anywhere near it, you'd have to wear an orange jumpsuit, a suit like America, like, because you're classed as an escapee. Because I think,
oh really?
Yeah, so you could get underneath a vehicle, you could climb underneath the vehicle and then hold on underneath, and you're only there in the middle bit for like 5 minutes or whatever. But obviously they have the big like mirrors that on like a trolley jack,
Can you
and they go
imagine going down
round.
the motorway under a van?
You're quite, I don't know if it's me or is it me or is it you lagging? Anyone?
I can't see any lagging.
It just keeps breaking up, so maybe it's my end.
But can you imagine being under a van?
Huh? Had anybody been under one? Not while I was there, no.
Hang on. Some weird messages.
No, there always is. I've lost.
Yeah.
Are pregnant women on a separate wing, and how does the prison deal with pregnancy? Yeah, so pregnant women can be in the general population. If you check out my channel, Robert, there's a video on there about a girl that gave birth in her cell when I was upstairs. I'm not going to go into it again because I've said it quite a few times, so just hop over and have a look for that one. But so they'll stay in the general population, but if you're lucky enough to get on bed on mother and baby wing, like they call it, mother and baby wing, it's like a little prison inside the prison, but no one can get on there. The women get escorted off for a visit, like by officers and stuff like that. They can't walk around the prison with their baby. So the only time you'd ever see someone with a baby is if you was on a visit with them and they were seeing their family. So yeah, they then they can keep their kids up to 18 months.
Do you know, this is off topic, but I've got to say it now, it's coming to my head. You know, at the top of the stairs where all the blue seats are and everyone sits and has their coffee?
Yeah.
Me, and I'm not joking, about 6 other girls were sitting there and we were drinking our coffee and talking, and we heard a newborn baby cry. And we all went silent and looked at each other like that. And then we heard it again. So we jumped up and we like, what? Someone's brought a baby? No way someone's brought a baby onto the wing. And we run down the stairs and obviously there's no baby there. How weird is that? And then some new girls come on a few weeks later, and one of them's come out of cell and said, I've just heard a baby crying. And she didn't even know about the stuff that had happened. And then one day there's a bin lid, and they look like the old-fashioned bins, you know, like the trash cans. Like, you've got a circular lid on top with a handle on it. We were sitting there talking, and this bin lid on its own in front of us, I swear on my life, has literally come off and gone across the floor. Like, what? we were in like shock. And then this other time, right? So we're all sitting there. This is the same area. So something's going on in this area. There was this woman and she'd gone a little bit funny in the head. Anyway, her cell door, and they're heavy doors and there's no windows. Her cell door has gone crash. And one of them's gone, oh, what's she up to now? And they've gone over to look in the cell and they were like, and as they were looking, we've seen the woman whose cell it was down the bottom of the stairs filling a flask up. So how did her door slam like that? What? How? Like, it's so weird. And then one day, me and my friend were watching the TV, and we had this pot of like hot chocolate that we bought off canteen we were sharing, and it's moved only slightly, but it's like gone in front of us, and we both were like, "What the heck? Like, this is all on the same landing." But I have heard of girls, whether people believe it or not, that's what happened. Like, but I've heard about girls doing Ouija boards in prison. Did you ever hear about girls doing that?
No, you know, you get ghosted for doing stuff like that. If you get caught, you get ghosted.
What do you mean?
So if you get caught doing Ouija boards in prison, they'll ghost you and ship you to another jail.
Why?
Because you're fucking with shit, aren't you?
So that goes to show then they have got they've experienced some things then, haven't they? Because I've heard of a lot of girls doing it in cells together and weird things happening, but there was definitely something on that landing. I don't know what had happened there before, but we heard a baby, a newborn baby. You can't fake that cry, that newborn baby sound. You can't, like, an adult wouldn't be. I couldn't make that noise. Like, and there's no way, and it happened twice. And it was 6 of us that heard it. Like, it wasn't just like one person. It was bizarre. Like, it was so weird. I've gone completely off topic now, but
no, that's all right. Is it me lagging? Because
what have you seen when you were younger?
Michael, I think you should come and do a podcast on my channel.
Yeah.
Finally a normal life.
God, yeah. See, I'm not the only one then that's had experiences in prison. But I suppose there's a lot of sadness in prison as well, and it can attract negative energy. So I'm not surprised, especially if people are messing around with Ouija boards. Look, I'm not being funny. I did one of them when I was 13 and it ended up very badly. My friend's house.
She's a prison officer. I'm a policewoman.
We did a Ouija board, right, in my friend's house when we were 13.
It must be my internet.
And literally 2 days after we'd done the Ouija board, it kept saying something bad was going to happen on the Ouija board. 2 days later, oh no, that was it. So we did the Ouija board then, and it kept saying number 6. And then we did these little tarot cards. And on the card number 6, there was a house on fire. My friend pulled the card when we were playing with them. She's pulled this card and it had number 6 written on it with a house on fire. 2 days after that, a house burnt to the ground.
You can't
and I got spiked.
Like
a day later, I got my drink spiked. I got my drink spiked and I got rushed to hospital. Like, don't mess about with stuff like that. Like, it could have been coincidence, but it's bloody weird.
No, you don't mess with shit like that. Trust me. I just don't.
Not worth the risk.
I've done it. I'll never ever do it again, ever.
Is that true, or are you just taking the piss out of me? I'm swearing now.
I know, you don't know.
Are you mocking me?
Like, what is mental health? Like, it's a very random question, but then, yeah, you just don't know, do you? You guys got any questions before we end up wrapping it up?
Yeah, sorry, I'm joking and stuff, but it's meant to be a serious topic, but I've gone off topic, so I've got ADHD. I always do. I'm sorry, I can't help it. My brain will remember something.
It's easy though. Someone asks a question, then it turns into other stuff.
Are people able to smuggle alcohol?
No. Are they able? Yeah. The little miniatures.
It's more likely a prison officer is someone's going to like butter a prison officer up and they will bring alcohol in, or they'll make hooch out of sugar, bread, sometimes even hand sanitizer, old peel, fruit. Like, they'll put it all in a bag, and then because it gets loads of gas in it, they have to like open the lid and let the gas out, otherwise it'll just explode across the cell. But yeah,
Yeah, it's more you're gonna get drugs and phones into prisons than you are alcohol. No one cares for alcohol as much as they do drugs.
No,
But
spice is the main thing at the moment.
yeah, off topic is
It
great,
used
Samantha.
to
It
be
is. It gets
heroin, didn't it?
funny.
Years ago, heroin was quite big in prisons, but now it's just mainly spice.
It is more spice, yeah. If you use prisoners.
Because weed, you can smell it in the prison, but spice you can't smell.
Good question, Nikki. God.
What's the question?
That's a tough one, because if I was like obviously mental health. I think mental health is the biggest thing, but if I was an officer, it wouldn't be something that I could just change. It needs, it's huge. It needs the government before the prisons can do anything.
Did anything else happen? Well, my friend's house burnt down, literally burnt to the ground. They had to go to a hotel. And then a few days later, I was out with my friends, and some bloke, stupid, like we were kids. We were like, I think I was about 14. Some guys come over and said, "Oh, we were out in the street in town. Some guys said, "Oh, I'm really, really thirsty. Please, can I have a sip of your drink?" So my friend gave him a sip of the drink, and then it was my half of the drink, and it was only a Lamborghini or no, not a Lamborghini.
Lamborghini. Oh God.
What's it called? Lambrini. That's it. Not a car. I didn't drink a car, right?
Oh, that was brilliant.
I can't even say it. Right, anyway.
I wish you could buy a Lamborghini that cheap. Jeez, I'll have at least 10 of them.
Lamborghini. What is it called?
Lambrini.
Lambrini, right, okay. Oh, God, it's horrible. Even the thought of it's like cringe. And he's passed it back to me. I know it's a car. I know I said it wrong. And he's passed the drink back to me, and I drank the other half, and I wasn't drunk. And
Did you drive the other half?
Huh?
Did you drive the other half?
Yeah, I drove it. I drove all the way to the hospital, mate. I was unconscious. I could think, but I couldn't talk. I was like paralyzed. It was so scary. But I could hear the ambulance people slagging me off because they thought I'd gone and got drunk. But I hadn't. And then the hospital told my mum and dad I got drunk, and then they wouldn't come and collect me from the hospital. And I hadn't. I've been spiked. It wasn't even my fault. But that's what happens if you let people sip your drink.
It was your fault for driving that Lamborghini.
I did, yeah. I can't believe I said that. That's brilliant.
No, that was funny. That was quite
deleting
sweet.
this live.
Your innocence is cute. That was funny. 0.2 seconds.
Oh, I don't want anyone to think I'm laughing at the topic that we started on, but
no, come on. Look, let's be real, right? You've gone through what you've been through with mental health. I've been through it. I've lost a family, like, my best mate's brother when I was a kid. Like, it's not like we're sat here. The topic's changed. And sometimes it's not a bad thing to change the topic, because you don't know. I don't know if you're going to be triggered when we come off of here from this. I could be triggered. You don't know. So it is nice to leave it on a light-hearted note.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a lot better than I was. Literally, my mood started to. I can feel the shift. Like, I'm starting to be a lot better.
You need to do your little YouTube family.
And I thought, if I go to the doctor, right, they're not going to help me. They're going to write on my records that I'm struggling with mental health, and then it's going to go against me with other things that are going on in my life. So what's the point of me going and asking for help? Because they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, but unless
they shove more medication down my throat. There's nothing that they will do to help.
Yeah, but you can't sit away and lock yourself away either, because then what happens when you get lower and lower and lower? Like, at least try. Don't just give up, because you know what? One day you might get that doctor that does help you. Your doctor might be off on holiday, and you might get another doctor, and they might refer you. There's always that one chance. Like, what happens then? So you go, no, I won't, what if that one day, like I said, you get the right doctor and they do help you, and then what if that one day you don't get help?
Yeah, I'm not saying to people not to, but that's just how I feel when I get depressed. But if you are struggling, you must tell someone. I'm not saying you shouldn't bother, but for me, that's how I mentally feel when it's going on. I'm not suggesting that anyone don't.
I give the best advice, but I never do it. My best friend, a little while back, I was in a dark place. And then when I'm out of it, I said to her, I was feeling X, Y, and Z. She's like, why the hell didn't you tell me? I'm telling you now, but why didn't you tell me in the moment? Because in that moment, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to nobody. It's not because I don't think I can't. I can't. I don't want to. But like, I know for me, I can go to the lowest thoughts, but I know I'll always bring myself up. I know I'll always come back out of it. That's the only thing why, But that's what happens, and that's the problem with suicide is when you get into that dark of a place, you don't care about anyone else or anything. You don't want to talk. You just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Yes, Susan, that's exactly what I mean. Why am I half bald?
No, me, because I can't afford to shave the other side yet.
You're not bald.
We've been here. This is a bit boring now, this one.
You can see your root. You can see you've got hair. I'm growing mine out. Mine was shaved more than yours. I only had the top part of my hair. I had like a Miley Cyrus cut. But I'm growing out. That's why it's at that really horrible stage. And I bleached my hair, and I looked like the guy out of Harry Potter yesterday.
Just quickly, Daisy. Is it Daisy Do? Can I join the live with you two? So unfortunately, you can't join the live on this because we can only have two. But if you're really seriously interested, please jump over to my channel. Drop me an email. I can do a live. We can do a live with like about 6 different people on it. So I've said it on my channel. If you want to jump over and check it out, drop me an email and we can set it up so we can all live stream at the same time. So it'll come up on YouTube. We just can't have more than 2 people in the box at a time.
Yeah, I need to download that blimmin' app. Oh, and sorry, my videos haven't been uploading much. I've just been struggling at the moment, and I haven't been able to do anything. So I haven't been able to focus on making a video, but I'm going to try and... But we've got something planned anyway, haven't we?
What's that? Sorry, I wasn't listening to you. Go on, I'm not gonna lie.
That's all right. No, I was just saying we've got something planned. I think we've got a video planned.
Yes, but just shush, just don't talk. That's.
Oh no, I'm not going to say anything.
We've got to do it. Come on.
Just saying, like,
You don't tell people your stuff.
Because we have got a bit good video coming up.
There's a lot of good work going on. What? I don't know which one line I just said now. But I don't even know where I was gone. I'm well off thoughts. I don't know. I'm lost now. There's a lot of work coming on. Tuesday night. Monday I'm going live tomorrow on my channel. Just a Q&A with myself. So if you've got any questions about my story or my where are you trying to do
come
this?
over and troll. I'm going to come and troll you, Fran.
Yeah. So. Yeah, literally. Yeah. So to come and do Q&A, just a free-for-all questions about prison, my life, anything you want to know. Tuesday night, I've got Roxy. I've done a live with her before. So that's going to be about domestic abuse, basically. So she's coming on. If you check out my channel, she's been on there before.
Who's coming on?
I've done a story of Roxy. She was TJ's. She was manipulated by TJ. So she's coming on a live with me Tuesday night. So yeah, why don't we check it out? There's lots of bits and bobs. We're going to be doing a bit of work on mental health. I've got
we're from England. Now. Sorry, we're from England. But yeah, so what day is that? Sorry, what day and time are you doing the live with?
So tomorrow I'm going to do 8 o'clock, and Tuesday I'm going to do 8 o'clock as well.
Okay, I'll be watching, and I'm going to write "I love poo" in the comments.
Yeah, man. Screw the BBC. I want to have my own channel. We're gonna have our own prison channel.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
I would only do it on YouTube. I wouldn't sell myself to nobody. At least I hate you all. Oh, I love you, Amy. Send you a virtual hug. I think you need it. Too much hate in your soul.
It just makes me laugh. Like, why are you watching them? Fuck off.
I know. It's mad, isn't it? It's like but do you know what? That's so sad. 8 p.m. England time, UK time.
Yeah, but I accidentally put the live was at 8 a.m. because I'm useless.
Always in the PM until
it's never going to be AM.
To do this full time.
If I've written something's going to be AM, then I've probably done it wrong.
Yeah, I can't
It's
remember what I
weird
said.
because when you're trying to do the live and you have to turn the clock thing, how do you know if it's AM or PM?
Because next to it,
Does it
you're,
say?
you're,
Am I that stupid? Does it say?
no, you're not stupid. You're just sweet. Hang on. So if I go to schedule for later, let's just pretend I'm going to do one now. Oh.
Oh
Okay,
my
so you're on the
God.
schedule for later. So if
It
you click
doesn't say.
OK, so see
Yeah.
next to the time it says
Oh
AM.
my God, it bloody says
If
it.
I click PM, it then highlights. Yeah, can you see that?
Oh no.
And
That's so bad.
then, so if I do 12 PM and you want to change it to the past, you click the zeros and then you turn it and it has like 30 minutes rather than the
So you
hour.
click on the 0.
To click on the 0 and then you change that. And then if I click on that one, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do
Oh.
that. And then if I click on where it says 30 or the 0, and then it comes up with how many minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Well,
you click
hopefully
AM, PM.
right.
Really
I
easy.
didn't even see whether it said that.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice it straight away either, so you're not stupid.
Oh no, it's funny. I always do silly things. I drink Lamborghinis for a start.
Fucking classic. That was brilliant. That did make me chuckle
Oh,
tonight. I'm not
them
gonna lie.
drinks though, that was hot. That's a. But do they even sell that anymore? It's so
They
viral. That
still
drink.
do. They still do.
Or the White Lightning special brew.
Oh, special brew. Oh.
We used to drink. I used to drink that when I was. It's making me feel sick. When I was 16, me and my friend would wait outside the shop for it to open and go and get special brew every day. And we used to hold our nose and down a can, 2 cans. My friend could drink loads. I'll drink 1 can. I'll be out of it, mate.
Shut up my room. 2020, yes. Oh my God, you're my era. Jesus. 2020 strawberry. Oh, it tasted
What?
like shit. 2020. That was my drink as a
Oh, I don't
teenager.
remember.
How old are you?
I'm 36 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you're not as old as me.
I don't remember that one.
Do you say cheers or beep beep?
Oh, I just remember that White Lightning.
That's a mouthful.
You know what? One night we got White
She
Lightning
missed
and
it.
vodka and mixed it together. Ugh.
44. I'm 44 week Tuesday. How do prison officers deal with prisoners who cause a mileage? How do they deal with it? Do you know what they get affected too when it's quite a big incident? I've been with one incident that was quite horrific. Someone actually nearly died, but I'm not going to go into it. That was like a suicide attempt, and it was really horrific.
Oh.
And you could see the officers were really affected by it. They called all of us listeners out at night time. We went round to the wings the next day. They wanted us to support the whole wing that had witnessed it and stuff. So they are
Is that in
actually
Bronzefield?
they are actually quite good like that. Like with support and actually having genuine sympathy as well. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing yet on my birthday. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, I was a nutter when up until a few years ago. You don't even know the stuff I used to end up getting up to. I can't even say the stuff I used to end up getting into when I was drinking. I was the life of the party. I was nuts. Like someone would say, "Oh, I dated this," I'd do it. I was absolutely insane. Like I can't believe I'm still here. The amount of times that I've nearly ended up dead is unbelievable. So I'm so glad I don't drink anymore. I don't miss it at all.
Court cells are totally actual court cells are totally different. They're not
Oh, they're
even
horrible, aren't they? You've literally just got a bench.
yeah,
It's
the
just
most
all
uncomfortable
the
thing
walls are
ever.
scratched up.
There's no
It's
bed or anything like that. You don't get a bed. It's just literally a wooden
and sometimes you're sitting there
bench.
for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, the court cells are nasty. But if you think about it, right, there was I remember my friend now. I wasn't there when this happened, so this is secondhand information. Take it with a grain of salt. when I was in prison, there was the cellmate that I had said that before I was there, she had a cellmate that was from another country, and she was so happy because in her country, when she'd been in prison, they were all laying on the floor, all bunched up together, and they had no TV, and there was just a hole for them to go to the toilet in the corner, and she couldn't believe that they had a TV and a bed. So if you think about prison in other countries and cells in other countries, we don't do too bad.
I know. Because my padmate was Russian and she went back. She was dreading it. Her husband that she married over here tricked her. He sent loads of paperwork and got her to sign it all. And in the middle of one of them was a divorce paper. So then they had to send her back to Russia for the rest of her sentence. And she was writing to me. And literally, she was so depressed. They had she said it was like cabbage and potatoes, and you eat it every day for dinner and for lunch. And they have to get up and make their beds by 6:30 in the morning. Stand outside their wall, all of you in a line outside your cell door. You have to say your name, prison number, and what crime you committed. And then they go off to work, and they don't come back from work. They do like a 12-hour shift of sewing and shit. She said her hands were fucked. And it's nothing like here.
Exactly.
We have it so easy, so goddamn easy compared to other countries.
If I met the judge that sent me down, I would thank them because they gave me the smallest sentence that they could possibly give me, and they actually apologised to me. When I got sentenced, the judge said, "I'm really sorry. I have no other choice than to give you a prison sentence. It's out of my hands." That is what the judge said to me because he knew I needed help. I'm not saying what I did was right, but he knew I needed mental health. I wasn't well, and he gave me the lowest sentence he could possibly give me. And then the other time, I actually got let off for what I'd done because of my mental health. Because what they do is they go, your barrister and solicitor will go through all the trauma, everything that's happened to you your whole life, to paint a picture of how this ended up happening. Not that there's an excuse, but so they can see how that I wasn't just some evil person that deliberately went and did these things. I had things that had happened that had caused me to end up so mentally unwell that I was doing these things. And obviously harming my own self. So they one of the judges actually said sorry. So I haven't got anything against them. They're just doing their job at the end of the day. And if they weren't there, they wouldn't put the horrific criminals that we can't stand away, and they'd be on the streets. So that's my take on it. What would you say, Fran? Sorry, I'm such a fidget.
I didn't like her, so I don't think I'd say anything nice. But if I took away my opinion of her, I would have to say the same. Prison was the best thing that ever happened to me. And to be fair, she gave me a perfect length of time sentence. It was just her attitude. I just didn't like the attitude of her. But yeah, take that away. I'm grateful.
I've seen that Black Dolphin documentary about the men's prison in Russia. It is scary. I would not want to be in that prison. It looks miserable. But yeah, I don't want to carry this on for too long because it's nearly 20 past. People can get bored out of their mind, especially me rambling. But thank you, moderators. Honestly, you are amazing. You've really, really kept on top of the comments. I really appreciate that because it's so hard to keep up with everything when you're talking and that. And I thank you, everyone, for your support. If there's any big things that come out in the news, we're going to try next week. Are you free next Sunday? We're doing next Sunday?
Yeah, we'll just stick to every Sunday.
Next Sunday. If you're not subscribed, go to Fran's channel, which is UK ex-female prisoner Francesca. Can't remember how to say your last name. Vittore. And we take turns. So next Sunday at 8-9 o'clock, we will be doing a live on Fran's. And then the week after, mine. And we're just going to do that. And any big things that come out in the news, we're going to try and cover something. I mean, if it's something we talk about for a little while, we end up going off topic, just you don't have to watch. You can always turn it off if you are not interested in us chatting waffle. But so any big things that come out in news, we can try and cover it, and we can take turns. And then we've got a plan for a video, but we've got to put things into place. So that won't be for a while. But yeah, so if you can like and subscribe, it really helps. And
Glenna, are you in here to pin my channel up? Someone's just asking for a tag.
oh
I don't know if it's still in there.
yeah, if you can, that'd be great.
Or anybody.
I don't know how to do it. Ugh, I hate it in my mouth. Ugh. I'm eating hair.
Oh, it's me. It must be my internet because you keep lagging real bad.
How do I tag your channel? I actually don't know how to do it. I can't even set the time.
If you, oh no, you can't even take a picture. Well,
no, thank you.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, UK ex female prisoner. Can't even
If
speak.
you just put in UK ex prisoner, I'll come up. Oh, thank you, Samantha. I was going to say, if you just put in UK ex female, it'll come up anyway. If you know what you're looking for now, it'll look like that again. It's a picture of me and
Can
Kate
you write
Middleton.
a comment? Could you write a comment after we get off the live? Could you go back on it and write a comment so it comes up?
Oh yeah, to be fair, yeah,
Is
I can do that. Yeah. Cost.
I don't know how.
Brains.
We'll work it out.
We'll work it anyway. Cool. Right. Yeah. Listen. Thank you guys for tuning in. Anyone who's jumped over
Samantha.
and subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh God, I'm still eating hair. Right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
You enjoy your hair and your Lamborghini, and I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Lamborghini. That's brilliant. I can't believe I said that. What a wanker.
Oh, I've sworn about a million times.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No, that's all right. No worries.
And I'm looking forward to next week, and we're gonna talk about what we've got planned. We need to put it in motion.
Yeah. We'll definitely catch up in the week.
But
thank you, and you.
And hopefully, Fran's birthday soon, so we'll hopefully do a birthday special on her channel like we did on mine.
Yeah.
I think
I'm going out. Yeah, I think I'm going out the weekend before.
We can do it. There's no excuses. We're doing it. We could be another day around your birthday. I can see you trying to get out of it.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, definitely.
No, we don't have to. But if you want to,
no, we will.
around
If I don't bother going out,
just do questions and stuff.
Yeah, if I don't go out, then we'll just do it on my birthday. I've got the week off work, so we'll do something. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
No, thank you for having me on. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we'll have to remember that one, Samantha.
Oh, okay.
For the 8th.
Same day as my dog.
Yeah, mate. I'll be getting smashed right up. Anyway, let's go. Love you all, mate.
See you later. Bye.